Right, thank you very much for that, Mark. We're live down here in downtown Vancouver at the Broad Street SkyTrain station. Alanna, Fero is back with us. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. This is different and fun.
This is different. Yeah, see, you know what she's doing right there? You know what you're doing? You're doing your positive spin thing. Not that it isn't different and fun, which it is. We're having a good time out here, but you would never say that it wasn't.
No, well, what would be the point of that?
Yeah.
You know, your attitude's going to determine your experience. So this is, I haven't done this before outside in the rain, and it's quintessential Vancouver, and we're going to have a good time.
See, this is why we love you. And coincidentally, it's also what your book's all about, right?
Absolutely.
Her book is called Love Made Visible, but don't be fooled by the title, because this really is about making the best out of everything, isn't it?
Well, making the best particularly about your work, and I think actually making it the best. Not taking a bad situation and putting a happy face on it, but actually turning your life and your work into something that you feel great about. I believe that we all have a passion and a purpose inside us, and it's possible to earn a really good living doing work that you love so much you'd do it for free.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow,
you're telling me you
that's
don't?
really saying something.
Come on, okay, maybe not today. I understand you've been out here a little longer than I have, but let's face it, most days.
I'd never say that in front of my boss either. That would be terrible.
And I would not advise you to.
Right.
But
however, Alanna,
yeah,
there's got to be a lot of people. Everybody around here is going to work this morning, and a lot of them are going to jobs that they just hate.
Yeah.
How are they supposed to make lemonade out of that if their job is a lemon?
Well, and cleverly, that is the title of one of my chapters, and that's a circumstance that I look at for a lot of people. I want to start by saying that 9 out of 10 people who tell me that they can't change their job are wrong, and I find a way that they could change career paths on terms that would work for them.
Really?
Honestly, yeah, absolutely. But for the 1 in 10 who honestly need to stay where they are because of family, because of salary, because of the benefits, whatever, then we work on changing the dynamics in that workplace, getting their boss to notice them and see them differently, putting together a proposal for how they could change some of the focus of their work and do some projects that they're more interested in. Find a way to deliver more value that then will allow them to go in and ask for more money.
Okay.
Getting a mentor, focusing on a professional development plan. There are all kinds of ways to very concretely change the experience of the job that you're in.
But what you just said is that you think that 9 out of 10 people in jobs that they hate
could change them.
Really?
Absolutely.
So then what's holding them back?
Usually it starts with the belief that it's not possible. People hold the attitude that it's called work because we're not going to like it, and you just have to get up every day.
Like, just do it.
I'm kind of lucky, I guess. My family didn't hold that belief. They told me that I could find something that I would love. I guess maybe because they didn't, and they put a lot of focus on going to school and finding something that I really cared about. And I think that there are people out there who are great role models. I get my clients to interview former clients who've landed somewhere healthy, so they have a real story. The book has 26 stories of people who love what they do in it.
But do they have to take that first leap? It's the quitting your job without the safety net that most people can't handle.
Well, first of all, I would encourage most people to hang on to a paycheck while we do our work together, because I don't want them to be so frightened about money that they just grab the first thing that comes along. The whole purpose of working with me is to get really choosy about what it is that you want.
Okay, you got to have a plan, though, because a lot of people just kind of end up working in a job for years and years without ever stopping to think about what they want to do.
Well, you have to take the initiative first and believe that something can be different, and then yes, we work on really understanding what it is that people want, what makes them happy, what gets them excited when they lose track of time.
All right.
And then we find a job that goes with that, and then we figure out how we're going to get them into that network so they can create that opportunity.
What you just said there is looking for the activity where they lose track of time.
Absolutely.
Where a lot of people wouldn't think of it that way.
What you're doing. Absolutely.
Oh.
If you want a job where you're not watching the clock, what you want to do there all day is do something that you lose yourself in it. You don't even realize that the time has gone by. You want to stay late.
Another thing that you mentioned is looking at layoffs differently. If you've been laid off or fired from your job, is it really a blessing in disguise?
For a lot of people it is. I'm not going to pretend it feels that way on the day that they come with the box and they give it to you. But I'll tell you, you could survey all of my clients who've been through that experience a year later. To a person, they will say it was the best thing that ever happened to them because they needed to make a change. They weren't happy where they were. They wanted something better for themselves, and they didn't have either the impulse or the courage to just get up and get off and do something different. So life came along and pushed them out of the nest.
And you talk about courage. You've got a story of one man in there who made a change that most people wouldn't even think was possible.
Yeah, that chapter is actually called Jump and the Net Will Appear, because he made the really gutsy move of leaving his job before he had any idea what he was going to do. But I mean, he had the savings account to do it. I wouldn't recommend that forever. He was a university professor, tenured, history department, and just knew that on the day that he got tenure, it should have been the best day of his life, right? Job security forever. He said it felt like a job. sentence. Like, he was never going to get out of there now. He was completely trapped. Really? Overqualified for everything else in the world and nowhere else he could go.
And became?
So, well, first he went to India for 4 months and studied yoga. And
an admirable thing. If everybody could do that, that would be great.
Could do it. Yes, absolutely. He had family there, so it wasn't as expensive as it maybe needed to be for someone else. And then when he came back, we did a bunch of research, and he did some journaling and some visualization and meditation. And what came to him, get this, he wanted to be a video game producer. He had never even played a video game to that point when that came to him, not even played one. But he had an idea that where he got interested in history was all the imaginary worlds that he read about in history books as a kid.
He could make those.
And he figured he could make those imaginary worlds and get this generation of kids excited about civilization and government.
Well, it worked for him, didn't it?
It absolutely worked. He landed in a senior level producing job in a top gaming company a year later.
Nice. Well, you can hold that one up. Listen, thank you very much, Alanna, for joining us this morning. For more information about what Alanna was talking about, you can check out our website, which is cindytv.com/BT Vancouver. It's 9:26. You're watching Breakfast Television.
Thank you.